Hello and welcome to the North West for the second week of Inter-Services Rugby League action. I'm Kath Brazier. We're delighted to be bringing you this live on BFBS. Now, a bit of a last-minute venue change. We were, of course, supposed to be at the home of St Helens, the totally wicked stadium, but that was changed at the last minute. We're now at Fatto Heath Crusaders Rugby Club, just down the road, and it's here that the Army ladies will be looking to defend that Inter-Services crown against the RAF. Here are the highlights of their win over the Royal Navy in sunny Portsmouth last week.
Tackle after tackle. We're on here, there we go, and that is Fitzy over the line for us. Kira Fitzpatrick running in the Army's second try. Kat Williams barrelling forward, taking a couple of Navy players with her. Good platform. Oh, perfect handoff. Can she extend over the line? She can. Is that a try for the skipper, Emily White? Name on the ball.
Bit of luck there.
That tactic worked before and it's worked again, and this time the Army are running away with it. She's closed down, but has she got the wheels? Has she got the gas? Yaravoli running the length of the pitch. More gas than a barn full of bone vines on a lentil diet. She's run almost the length of the pitch.
Now, this fixture last year saw the Army ground out a 10-0 victory against the RAF in atrocious conditions. So the question is, can the Royal Air Force double down on the promise they've shown over the last couple of years and beat the champions? Earlier, I spoke to both the head coaches.
I'm Corporal Daniel Tonkin. I'm head coach of the RAF women team.
You're up against, reigning champions for the last sort of 14 seasons. How do you sort of motivate your team going into, or is that motivation in itself going in against a team that haven't been beaten?
Well, looking at last year, I think it was some poor decisions went against us, what caused us the game. It was a very close game, and I think the scoreline reflect that with a 10-0. Basically, we just said they could do 14 years, we could do 14 years, and that's what we're going to go straight at and try and do that now.
What are your strengths in that RAF team? I know you've got some really sort of standout players, but what do you think your strengths are out there on the pitch?
I think our pack is a very strong pack. We've got some big names there. We're starting to make a few names and get some coaches in domestic league starting to look at them, which is a fantastic opportunity for them.
And obviously this is your first foray into, you've seen the Army play, you've seen the Royal Navy play last week, so what can you take from that, and what do you learn from watching the opponents play? Do you take a lot from that, or you just play the game that you want to play?
We had a good review of it, obviously, which every team does. We saw the differences between the two teams, we saw the weaknesses and we saw the strengths. There's a lot of strengths in both teams, and the Navy are out of this competition yet. They really had a good spell of 10 minutes where I think they could have maybe taken it, a few tries, a few points from the Army there. So I think it's a very open competition this time.
And finally, I mean, it's a very slight disappointment to not be playing at St Helens, but thank God, you know, there are clubs like Faso who have stepped up and hosted this game. Will that play on the girls' minds, or is it just rugby league, doesn't matter, just give us a patch of grass?
To be honest with you, we went down to the stadium tour early on, since accommodated us, like I say, thanks for doing that for us. And we saw on the pitch, there was no way they could have played 3 or 4 games on that. A pitch is a pitch, we play rugby on it. And it's great that these have come up and give us the opportunity to keep running that.
And Adam, a convincing win against the Navy last week, but you know they're going from strength to strength. You've obviously lost a few players just because of Super League games, but there is strength and depth in your Army side, and they proved that.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, we've got a very, very strong side, and we've continued that into this week with minimal changes, and that's just for a tactical sort of decision at times. So now we've got a very, very strong side for today.
And you're looking at our RAF side again, who are growing every year. And to be fair, the scoreline didn't really reflect last year. It was 10-0 to the Army, but it was in atrocious conditions. And the RAF really battled it out there.
Oh, absolutely. They played really, really well last year, and it was a really well, hard-fought game. And I'm looking forward to seeing what this game brings as well.
There were a few areas of discipline the Army could improve on from last week. Is that something you've looked at, and what other areas have you sort of talked about in going into this game against the RAF?
There's quite a lot we've took away from the last one. We've had all season to work on the bits, so there was some big things, but not many. Sort of drift defence in a few areas where we just sort of lacked. We've worked on that really hard this week, and yeah, the girls, they really got hammered on that this week, so they're a bit tired. Well, they were a bit tired a couple of days ago, and they've rested now really well, prepared for this. So we're looking forward to this one and seeing if it's what we've trained is going to pay off or not.
And finally, a win today would give the Army another Inter-Services crown. Is that something they think about, or is it just take each game as it comes?
It's take each game as it comes. It's just another game for us. It doesn't matter what the outcome in the end. Well, it matters what the outcome in the end is, but not what the title is. It's just we want to win, and that's the main thing. Everyone wants to win, and that's the aim of today.
Well, you'd be fooled into thinking that it's a nice sunny day up here in the northwest, but we have had every single weather in the last couple of hours. The Masters have already been out there on that pitch in all kinds of weather. The sun is trying to peek its way through the clouds, but we are expecting more rain, so another classic Northwest Rugby League match, I think it's fair to say. I'm Kath Brazier. Thanks again for joining us live here on BFBS for the second week of Inter-Services Rugby League action. And today we have got the Army Women defending champions against the Royal Air Force. And I'm delighted to be joined not by one but 2 military rugby league players and coaches, and you know, I'm going to say legends for both. I'm going to put you both in that bracket. Matt's giving me. But first of all, I'm going to come to Damien Clayton, and we've got Matt Bayliss as well, Royal Navy Women's head coach. Guys, if you can just introduce yourselves, what your jobs are, and you know, I know that I don't want to call you Mr. Rugby League, Damien, you know, give you too much, but you do know a lot about the game, and you've been well involved, and you know, as far as RAF Rugby League goes, you know, you know it inside out, don't you?
Yeah, so I've been involved a long time now, 30 odd years since the Rugby League was introduced into the armed forces, so played and coached at UCAF level and for the Royal Air Force, so yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing another strong inter-service competition this year, and you know, see how the Royal Air Force got on against the Army.
And Matt, you obviously a head coach of the Royal Navy Women's. How long have you been in that position, and you know, how did you get into that position? How did you know, are you an ex-player yourself and decided to give the coaching thing a go?
So I was literally on course with the team manager at the time, and she was just explaining that they didn't have coaching at the time, they wanted the game time. I offered my hand up to do my badges, to get them on the pitch, to get them out playing. It turned out to be a very fortunate thing for me because I love the coaching, they love to play, and it just worked out as a very good situation.
And how is it, you know, we talked a lot last week about the Royal Navy women being in this development phase, this building phase. How long is that phase? Have you given yourself a goal in 5 years to be somewhere?
So that's exactly correct. When I started, I wrote down a 5-year plan. We're moving in the right direction. We're just trying to get the things in place to keep us on the right tracks, and hopefully come the end of the 5 years we'll be in a better position and we'll start putting things towards these inter-services.
And Damo, you were there at the beginning of inter-services rugby league being sort of recognised in the military, so kind of where Matt's coming from, that sort of building and bringing the game to the fore and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the early days, the Army were very, very dominant. It wasn't until about 7-8 years in that the Royal Air Force won the inter-services, and the Army had dominated up until then. And then the Royal Navy, they had a few years where they did really well. But it's fantastic to see the first 13 now will play tomorrow. But we've got the women and the academy and stuff. It's just the participation levels have really increased over the years, and that's great for our game.
I don't want to embarrass you, Damo, but you have requested a chair, having played in the Masters game earlier today, which I can tell you the Army men won 36-12 earlier today. So Damo's got a chair just in case, but he did feature. You were hanging back a bit, but you did feature.
Well, that's what it's about at 54. It's all about using your head and not physical, I'll tell you.
Right, I just want to run through the team sheets. The Army women first, as it's an Army home game. We'll start with the Army, and at fullback we've got Charlotte Hill. At wing we've got Akisa Yara Voli. At centre we've got Mikalo Kometai, and she's known as Com to a friend. Centre Una Vakasigo. I'm sorry if some of these pronunciations are wrong. On the other wing, Kasalani Ganavinyaka. At standoff we've got Ellie Rains. Scrum half Lucy Hewitt. At prop Sky Jackson. Hooker Kira Fitzpatrick. At prop Kat Williams. Second row Ella Donnelly. Another second row Elise Townsend. And loose forward is Emily White, the Army captain. And the interchanges are Adi Masamoa, Zella Lul and Telly Biakula and Jessica Williams. I really should have done some practicing on those names. I'm sure by the end of it, as we see the teams come out, and any minute now we will of course have the national anthems, but I'm just going to quickly run through the RAF team for you. At fullback Hannah McCabe. At wing Trinity Earnshaw. Centre Jessica Wood. Another centre Leonie Mahone. Wing Samantha Wayne. Standoff Chelsea Greasley, one of the captains. Scrum half Beth Basie. Prop Shelby Cargill. Hooker Katie Seagrave. Prop Lisa Fisselau. At second row Grace Houghton Burnett, who is very tall. Second row as well for Sarah Darwish, and loose forward Alice Fisher, who is the co-captain. Interchanges for the RAF: Hannah South, Rachel Cousins, Rachel Robertson, Lynn Brooker Brown and Robin Baker. So just about to get underway here we are actually, I know I said in the introduction, of course, we were supposed to be at St Helens next door, the Totally Wicked Stadium, but we are being hosted here by Fatto Heath Crusaders Rugby Club, and what a great turnout really for a miserable day. And I will warn you that we are quite away from the pitch. I'm making excuses early. We're quite away from the pitch as the players get introduced to the VIPs here at Fatto Heath. If we can't see everything, that's the reason why. We didn't want to brave the rain, unfortunately, so we are inside the clubhouse with a slightly restricted view. But do you know what? We might just shut up halfway through and just let the game talk for itself, because our cameramen are out there. Just coming back to you, Matt, as the players are having their introductions and before the national anthem, what did you see in the Army women last week that, I'm not saying they will remain champions because we don't know what the RAF are going to do today, but how did the Army look against your girls at the Royal Navy last week?
I think the way we try and set up is we just try and match the organisation. They're very well drilled. Each time they come out, you can just see that they get a lot of time together. They obviously operate in the Women's Super League South, so the game time and the time they get in camps together is paramount. So the organisation is just second to none when they come out there, but they've just got hard work, willing runners. When it has to go out wide, it goes out wide, but they're more than happy to meet the middle as well, so the work rate's just always there, and it's just hard to match sometimes.
I know the score was 36-0, but we talked about the Royal Navy being in sort of a development phase. What were the positives for your girls coming out of that?
For me, 36-0 doesn't really flatter what the game was about. I said to the girls after the game, looking at the scoreboard, they were 10 times better than that reflected. That takes nothing away from the game and with the way the Army played, but they deserve more. They were fantastic on the day. Everything I asked them to do, they did. And I was just gutted that they didn't get that little snippet from it that they obviously deserved. For me, as a person coaching them, I'm obviously going to be biased, but I thought they just deserved that bit more.
And Damo, looking, the RAF, it was 10-0 last year in Salford. It was a really muddy game, but the RAF definitely look close to bringing it to the Army.
Yeah, definitely. They've got some players what are playing in the Women's Super League now. The captain Fisher, she's playing at Bradford. So they've got players what are playing more regular, which will help, and the core skills are improving all the time. And today, for me, if they can complete high, then they'll do okay. But it's all about possession, really.
Well, we are ready for kick-off here at Thatto Heath. I don't think there were any national anthems because presumably we probably don't have the facilities for that here. You'll be glad to hear that I wasn't going to offer to sing that for anyone. But yeah, like I said, good crowd here. And of course, the guys that are playing tomorrow, the academy and the men's players, senior men's players, are all here in support. So that's really good to see. And we are going to start. Katie Seagrave will start us off with the RAF. Won the toss, and they will be taking first ball. And how important is this in rugby league, guys? From that, getting the sort of possession from the kick-off.
Yeah, no, for the Royal Air Force, they need to signal the intent here with defensively, getting the firsts now, and give them some whack early doors, and hopefully turn possession over.
So we're underway here in Services Rugby League, the Army hosting the Royal Air Force here in the second round of Inter-Services Rugby League 2023, and obviously straight into Army hands. They did make a few mistakes, Matt, last week, the Army, in terms of discipline as well. So and it was simple things, and on a hot sunny day it was actually simple things like ball handling.
Yeah, I mean, I think from rewatching the game in the first 5 minutes, I counted by that we got 2 early penalties. It's a hard one. I think the momentum is hard to generate from the start, but you've just got to stay on top of it, and I think the nerves just got the better of some people that day. But it was a very evenly matched start, and I thought we were on top in certain points, but the Army just come back strong, and they come back running hard and fast as well, which is the downside.
Yeah, they've got those 2 runners who you give them a ball and they'll do the length of the pitch if they can get free. But they've still got to complete every 6, and that's the thing in rugby league, isn't it, Damo?
Yeah, it's completion. I mean, that's not a bad defensive set, to be fair. They're kicking out their own half, but now the Army, so good start from the Royal Air Force.
So kicking out hand there.
Yeah, and turning possession over early doors, first tackle, that's what they don't need to be doing, because they're going to be defending again.
Yeah, so giving the Army about 10 metres there as well, so coming forward. Conditions, I mean, how much, obviously last year they had a massive effect on that Army RAF women's game because they were like ankle deep in mud, but they've got a pretty good pitch here. Yeah,
no, it's very good, great standard community club here at Thatto Heath. Obviously having just played, no, it's a good service, and there's no excuses there. Should see some good rugby.
Yeah, and I think, would you agree that the Army play a very expansive game, and this could be the first score here, and they've got the runners. And that's Navaka going into the first try there.
She took that well, but again, going back to my previous point, it's a possession game, and we turn possession over, give the Army another set of 6, and there's a consequence.
And I think, Matt, what the Royal Navy possibly didn't capitalise on last week was that they had the runners, but they couldn't sort of get themselves over. It's that final hurdle, isn't it?
Yeah, so the decision making is paramount in this game. If you get them willing runners to do the hard work through the middle, when it comes out, you've just got to just make the right decisions, and sometimes it works or it doesn't, but it's just like that now. They forced it wide. Luckily they've gone over in the corner, I think.
So yeah, the first right in the corner in the first couple of minutes, 4 points to the Army, and it'll be Lucy Hewitt who's taking up the kicking duties early on for the Army. Last week they tried out 3. I think Charlotte Hill and Kira Fitzpatrick also had a go at goal, but in the end Lucy Hewitt was successful in getting over. So let's see if she can get 2 more points on the scoreboard for the ladies in red. Oh, I think that's just gone across the front face of the goal there. So it remains 4-0 to the Army. A really good start from the defending champions. We're only 3 minutes gone here, and it's already 4-0. I mean, that's what they do. You know, they sort of dominate. They try and dominate from the beginning, and a lot of the time they do that. So RAF. I mean, what would you be saying then, Damo? You know, get your head straight.
Yeah, just
again.
settle down. I thought the first set of 6 they defended quite well, and you know, they were kicking out their own half with the Army. So just get back on the horse and a good set of D here.
So Katie Seagrave again, putting the ball deep to an area of pitch that we're struggling to see.
Good tackle.
Excellent tackle.
Right, so that's kept Army back. Defensive game will be crucial then for the ladies in light blue.
That'll be so big for the RAF. That big tackle then, it just resets the momentum straight away.
Possession, but
no, it's good defences.
Yeah.
They're kicking there again from their own half, so it should give the Air Force an opportunity to get into good ball pretty quick.
Yeah.
Not really many better ways you can respond.
Charlotte Hill there kicking forward for the Army, but no, the RAF need to use this ball and get some distance.
Big focus on completion now will do them a world of good. That was a great defensive set. Just get through the middle now where they have to and hopefully put a kick back in their own half.
So light blues here in possession.
Yeah, it's good strong defence as well. Line speed's good.
You know, for a team that probably only gets together several times, you know, a couple of times a year at inter-services side, what's the sort of reliable thing that, you know, these teams can? I think the Army, possibly because of their Super League South fixtures, you know, get more sort of time together. But will the RAF, you know, is there a sort of set default game plan that you can sort of get together when you don't see that much of each other?
Yeah, definitely. It's nice and simple, to be honest. Again, I'm going to be like a broken record. It's completing high,
right.
And then when we do get into good ball, you know, just play as expansive as you can.
Yeah. The Army
but we need to make the Army tackle here and get them fatigued. The more tackling we do, the more fatigued they'll be, which negates their good ball opportunities then.
So that was yeah, I think it's not too. Is that Grace on her knees? Grace. Grace 11, yeah. Again, we are quite away from the pitch, so yeah, that could be 4 on the back. So just take a bit of a breather here. Both teams have a chance to regroup as RAF player is assessed. So a reminder to everyone, please let us know where you're watching from, wherever you are in the Forces world. We are live on Forces News, Facebook and YouTube, and we'd love to hear from you. I know we get a lot of friends and family on here, so tell us who you're supporting, and you know, it's great that we can bring this to you wherever you are in the Forces world. And actually, I think we're going to have a player off here, whether she's going off for an assessment, a further assessment, or whether she will be replaced. Yeah, it's Hannah McCabe, fullback, yeah. The reason we couldn't see her is because she's got lovely plaits in her hair, and they're right down her back, so we couldn't see the number 1. But Hannah McCabe, sadly, going off the pitch for further injury assessment. So the RAF will get themselves back to full strength. The Army in possession. That's Lisa Fasalau. Sorry, Kat Williams, I'm reading it wrong. She's in red. And she's a strong runner with that ball. barrelling runner, and lost possession there from the Army. So the RAF will...
I'm liking the Royal Air Force's
Yep.
D. They're signalling their intent, which is good.
And that's a name you mentioned earlier, Alice Fisher, Damien. She's, been on the sort of cusp of Super League clubs, hasn't she?
Yeah, she's plays for Bradford Bulls at the moment. So that regular training, that raising of her skill set, and obviously she's got a leadership role now in the Royal Air Force squad, which is great.
And that role perfectly balanced as well between Chelsea Greeley, who's just run that ball in.
Right.
I think from my experience as well, they're two senior players, and to see them coming through to start leading is really good. She's a very good player as well. There's another one that plays in the Women's Super League South.
Yep.
That was a good carry.
And they're co-captains, I presume. We've got two captains down here, Chelsea Greasley and Alice Fisher, so co-captaining this light blue side. So is it Tato Heath or Fato Heath?
Depends where you come from.
Yeah, exactly.
Tato Heath from where I'm from in West Yorkshire, but some could call it Tato Heath. So that's another set of 6 for the Royal Air Force. Good.
Brilliant.
Header from the Army there.
And they are, further up the pitch than they've been before. Oh, yeah, that was a
I think
fumble.
we've got a head injury right now.
Can't see anything. Yeah, Emily White, captain of the Army, is down at the moment, just being checked. Oh, so we've got Jim Donnelly and a Tessa Donnelly on our chat here on YouTube. Go Ella. I mean, I'm guessing with the same surname they are relations in some way. Ella, of course, I believe she's Junior Doctor of the Year.
Oh,
Apparently,
nice.
yeah. So she works in hospitals, but also, plays a bit of rugby league as well. So we often forget that when they're out there playing sport, they've got actual jobs as well. What's your actual job these days, Damien Clayton?
I'm a logistics officer in the Royal Air Force. Thank you very much.
But you are given some time to, do some rugby league at Halifax, I believe.
Yeah, so that's in my own time, actually, not in the Air Force's time. I work every weekend with them as the performance coach. Had a recent success at Wembley in the 1895 Cup, which is fantastic.
I don't think we gave you enough credit for that, to be honest. So, RAF.
Me neither.
Exclusive interview. I'm afraid.
So,
oh, yeah. Oh, fumbles, yes. They're right on the try line there.
Scrum down, Royal Air Force ball.
Okay.
Another set. So this is the third set on the bounce. The Army go have to defend, so let's see what they got.
big efforts from Royal Air Force there. The defensive effort is getting really good, and it's just pushing them back. I don't think they can really handle the momentum at the minute.
Is it fair to say the Army women aren't that used to being challenged, you know, sort of this close to a try line?
Well, I don't know. I think they will get challenged in the Women's Super League
Yeah,
South.
of course.
You know, so that experience is invaluable for them. So it'll be interesting to see how they. I don't think they're used to getting challenged in the inter-services,
Yes,
to be honest.
Yeah. So RAF with their best opportunity in the game so far here.
Just what they didn't need. First carry.
Was that ball, slippery ball maybe?
Just an unforced error.
Yeah.
Just needed to set one in there just to settle it, and just tried to force it a bit too much.
They almost tried to be a bit too clever there with the running some lines.
But again, the defensive efforts are outstanding.
So Army back in possession.
So set restart there. He's wiped the tackle count clean there. So another set against the Air Force. Yeah, it's a little bit scrappy at the moment, isn't it? Lots of errors, and we can't blame the weather, and we certainly can't blame the pitch. So hopefully both teams starting to skill up a little bit more.
No, we were actually hoping for a window in the weather for the game, and so far I'm touching wood, We've been lucky in that. It was torrential right up until kick-off. But I don't know, sometimes I think rugby players prefer that. No, Matt's shaking his head. You're a fair weather rugby league player. It is a summer game, isn't it? So
as a coach, the fair weather, yeah.
Okay.
As a player, it can be fun sliding around in the mud, but you never like the knock-ons.
It just changes the game, doesn't it?
It's a different dynamic.
Yeah.
Like you see now, there's just unforced errors all over the pitch. The Army are getting pegged back. The RAF are just working so hard, and it's just good to see, because hopefully they can get something out of this momentum, because they are pushing them and pushing them.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know, really that 4-1 try to the Army is pretty fair at this point. You know, the RAF probably having the better of the defensive side.
No, territory-wise, the Air Force have done quite well. It's pretty even at the moment. I don't know what the sets are, but it's pretty square. And they're getting plenty of time to recover.
Yeah. Yeah, lots of little niggles being picked up on that pitch. Damo, do tell us about your Masters game. Were you roped in at the last minute? Were you given a bit of pre-warning, or did you just turn up in your suit and they went, "Oi, get your boots on"?
Yeah, it's one of those. We've been, we have a WhatsApp group for RAF veterans, should I say, and just put your hand up. It's probably my last opportunity to play, full contact 13 aside for the Royal Air Force against the Army. So, yeah.
Enjoy it?
Yeah, it was all right, to be honest. Got through the 80 minutes.
Yeah, and you're still going to enjoy it tomorrow morning when you wake up with a bit of delayed onset muscle?
I'm not judging by the chair that sat behind him. No.
I'm not too sure about that.
He's not sat down yet, Matt.
Worth noting, though, for the Masters game, it was a really, really good standard.
Oh, great.
Set the tone for this. It was a good afternoon of rugby. Everyone was there enjoying it. Ref said it got a bit naughty at some point, so we good to hear.
I bet it did. So Rachel Robertson's actually come on. She's been the interchange for the RAF.
Yeah, she's playing at OKR now. Yeah, OKR women's
all
team.
14 seasons she's been involved. 14 seasons.
Yeah, very much so. And she plays both codes, so she's obviously a rugby fanatic.
Yeah. Air traffic controller, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And she's also interested in reffing. I think she's done her coaching.
Yeah, she's done a referee's course.
Course. Yeah, lives and breathes it. So the RAF, there's a lot going on down to our right, which is only good things for the Royal Air Force. So we've had Joe Burnett.
It's an unnecessary turnover there now. I know the Army is just racing down the right wing.
And that's the danger, isn't it, Matt? They've got the legs in them.
Yeah, they did well there to get back and then do some cover tackling and force that forward pass there. The Army would have been better in the first tackle, respect possession and get them on the next play, which they probably would have done because the Air Force was still in retreat. But as an Air Force dude, I'll take that.
It's just a good entertaining game of rugby. I think this is the first time in maybe 8-9 minutes now the Army have been inside the RAF half.
Yeah.
It's just them finding details, them unforced errors. There's just no shame in just hitting the middle, just setting something and trying to work something on the smarter moves.
Do you think stamina, fitness will come into play obviously in the second half, but they've both got a full set of interchanges?
It depends on completion, Kath. If whoever completes the highest, the other team will be fatigued because they'll be defending more. So I think that the Royal Air Force can take some real positives out of this first 12 minutes what we've had, because we've been playing on our right hand side and making the Army defend, and let's be honest, they're probably not used to that in inter-service football. So it'll be interesting this set of 6.
Yeah. So the Army 4-0 up here at Batteau Heath, Crusaders Rugby Club, stepping in at the last minute for St Helens, where there will be a Super League game tonight. I think it's the final weekend of Super League, am I right in saying?
Yes, and then it goes to the playoffs.
Yes, playoffs, got you.
So Halifax have got a big game on Sunday against Swinton, so if we win that, we're in the top 6, if anyone wants to get down and support us.
There you go. He doesn't get commission, don't worry, he just wants to see a good crowd. Right, Robertson again.
She's carried well, yeah, it's a good carry.
That's great.
Found a front.
Yeah. she's got some supporters on the YouTube channel as well. But yeah,
Again, just the finer details, the unforced errors. Yeah,
basics.
It's a shame because they're just keeping it moving and they're moving it in the right direction. So.
So we are 15 minutes in, yes, and good news. I just want to mention the crew that are here from BFBS. We've got James Smith, who's running around like a blue arse fly. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that live on radio, on commentary, but there we go. A blue bottled fly, and Chris also on camera, and we've also got Kira here, who is also running around like the aforementioned. So thank you to the team, making sure that we stay live and can bring this second round of Inter-Services Rugby League to you wherever you are. Joe Burnett on the channel says, "Come on RAF, go Grace." Again, a relation of Grace Houghton Burnett. I'm only guessing. And ladies in red, back in possession.
Oh, what a tackle.
Wow.
That's certainly lifted him here now.
You can hear the RAF crowd. Also might fire up the Army. And she goes over. That went one way, could have gone either way, but that fired up the Army, I think, and set their runners free, and the Army go 8 points ahead here at Tasso.
That was like from hero to zero.
One thing that you expect to lift you at that moment, and just to leave a gap like that, it's probably going to be very disheartening.
It could be a loss of concentration as well when you put in a hit like that. You sort of job done, but actually the Army capitalised, as they tend to do.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch that tackle again, what happened was that was a great hit, but it didn't stay on long enough.
Right.
Which you know, the Army, the Royal Air Force defence wasn't back, and they just exploited it. So if they'd got more bodies on top, slowed the play the ball down, and really benefited from that big tackle.
Yeah.
Which certainly got the crowd going.
It did, and it is comms. I think it's Makalo Komitiati. I know that her nickname is Comms, so I'm just going to stick with that for now on. And she was a scorer in last week's game as well against the Royal Navy. So well done to her, and that's put them 8 points up. And we've got Lucy Hewitt again kicking for the extra 2. And that one's over. So we're 10-0, which, funny enough, was the score from last year.
Which isn't actually a reflection of the first 20 minutes,
no,
is it?
It doesn't feel like it, no. And it feels longer than 20 minutes as well. Probably because I can only see half of the pitch. Yeah, so the RAF need to gather. Lucy Hewitt then with a successful kick, putting the ladies in red 10-0 up here at Tasso Heath.
Big focus on completion now, and it's just nothing's out of reach at this moment either, so they just need to get it up the middle, settle it nice and early, and then just have a big defensive set.
We've got
I certainly don't think the Army have got the edge. I don't think they've got the edge physically. The Air Force are competing well. It's just a bit more composure.
Oh, that's a knock on as well. Whilst they were waiting for that conversion as well, the Army took off Sky Jackson and Kat Williams, so both props have just been replaced as well.
Okay. What do you think the reasoning is behind that?
Fatigue.
Fatigue, okay.
Be a perfect opportunity just to start trying to settle things and get it up the middle, trying to work out an angle and which way they want to attack, and hopefully they can get something out of this because they're moving forward nicely at the minute.
So generally as a middle, a prop. Okay, back row, they're probably about 20-25 minutes before they get replaced. So
okay. Watching last week's game, I felt that both those two actually were very crucial to further on into the game. But you know, if they're fatigued, there's not. So the Army back with the ball. I know, RAF, sorry. And brought down.
Yeah, they just turned it over just shy of the try line for the Army now, so that's a really good set. Army have got the full pitch now to go, so as long as they can pin a little bit, pin them in a little bit, yeah, they could do a job here.
Get stacked in and give them some whack.
It's a really good completion, that.
Yeah. I mean, it does feel like most of the action's been down this end of the pitch. End of the pitch I can't see.
Yeah, perfectly where we all can't see, really.
Yeah, exactly. So really making the Army work here for their 10-0 lead, which on paper is what it is, but in real life don't really think it's a fair reflection of what we've seen here so far. Another clean run by the Army, and we should be taking note. Oh, she's gone off. Yeah.
So they need to be careful there. They're all Air Force. In the middle, the defence is pretty strong, but at the moment they're pushing it a little bit out wide and a bit more expansive. They're getting caught out. They're all Air Force. That's a couple of times they've been done down that side.
And you know they're aware of the wheels on the wings, so you know they'll. I mean that was a lucky touch in a way. But what they need is a try-saving tackle, isn't it? It
was a really good tackle, actually. The fullback come across and covered really well. But I think while they're trying to win this middle, still, it's a little bit of a settling in period, but they're committing 3-4 players to the tackle. So the minute that happens, we have to bunch in a little bit, and then it just leaves that space out wide. Yeah. The Army are just confident in trying to move it there.
So we're quarter of the way through here, just over quarter of the way through here. Pato Heath.
No, good carry. Find the floor.
She's found the front as well. That's a good win.
Good tackle.
Yeah, that was strong.
Yeah. Hannah South there with the carry, but she's been pulled back a metre or so. So the area, as you say, yep. Still in, got the light blues. But Army ball. Is that Charlotte Hill?
Really good return from Charlotte there.
And she's picked up a. I don't know if she's winded or.
I think that's Charlotte down as well as Chelsea Greasley, I think.
Okay. Yeah. So another little break here at Pato Heath for injury assessments. I mean, I always, I think the first word I used when we were on tour in 2017 and I hadn't seen much rugby league, and I said to Damo, it's brutal. You can actually hear that skin-to-skin clash in rugby league, which you don't get in rugby union at all.
It's awesome, eh?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's
gladiatorial.
Yeah, and you're still furthering my rugby league education. I still consider myself a student because there's a lot to learn.
So the World Cup in 2017, I think your education was pretty good.
Well, it's because you corrected me politely on many an occasion. I'm so in the rugby union world, you see. I know, surprise, surprise, being from the South Coast. But yeah, I mean, gosh, that was a long time ago.
So do you enjoy it, rugby league, Kath?
I love it. I don't watch it enough. I really enjoyed the World Cup last year. And
well, we need to get the BFBS team up to Halifax Panthers.
We do, I know, especially because
no shame in the plug, by the way. No shame in the plug.
Again, he's not getting commission, I promise. Yeah, I don't watch it enough, but that's because I'm always busy watching rugby union or cricket. So
Do you know what? I just watched this and I'm just so proud now. There's so many people participating in Rugby League and the Armed Forces. It's, you know, of a good standard as well. Inter-services, the men's game tomorrow, you know, that is, it's like state of origin football. It's fantastic.
It's another great break by the Army there.
Una Bakasegu, and she's passed to Wana
Very
Naka.
decent yards made.
Yes, that's the strength of those Fijian legs. Dave Gross is now in our way.
That's a normal thing for Dave.
Yeah, bit of an inside joke, but we are inside watching out 3 windows, and slowly the crowd are encroaching on our tiny little viewpoint. But a penalty there for...
Penalty for the Army just inside the 10. I think it was a high shot from Alice Fisher.
Okay. For anyone wondering, no, there is no beer tent here. There is a bar, and we are left of it. But it was safer being inside. Safer being inside with the inclement weather. So the Army frighteningly close to their try line again, due to some great legs from their centre and their wing. You see Hewitt there. They've got space out, but they fumbled it. Did that go forward?
Yeah, so that's knock on there.
Okay.
Fairly fortunate there. I thought if that had gone to hand, then the Army were down down that side then.
Yeah.
So they just need to regroup now, the Royal Air Force. That's good pressure there for the Army. Last 5 minutes, they've done well there. Good break.
I mean, their pressure and a lot of their scores come from those fast breaks, don't they? And you know, the RAF have been brilliant defensively, but possibly on the fast breaks, it's quite hard to defend.
I think even then as well, the line speed just coming off and meeting them at the play the ball and stuff like that, it's good, and it's just putting pressure on the Army, which is probably not what they expect at that point and in the position of the pitch they're on. So hopefully they can just return this now complete and just get themselves back up the pitch.
And the Army there had at least 2 or 3 spare on that right wing, but unfortunately a ball handling has
core skills just let them down there.
Yeah. It's that thing where you've almost scored the try on your head before you've caught the ball, and that's what I used to do.
Just a little bit of nerves creeping in.
Yeah.
I've never really experienced it, to be honest.
What, nerves or catching a ball?
No, dropping it.
So just to clarify, I did watch the Masters game and he's lying.
He did drop it, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
He'll blame it on the person who threw it. He'll say it was a bad catch.
I'll blame it on the weather.
Bad throw. Oh, okay, yeah.
It was sunny then as well.
Yeah, I think he had the worst of it. So
Nearly had a dust up.
Oh, really? At your age?
Exactly.
Right, the RAF have quite a bit to do here.
High tackle there. Yeah, I'm lucky to get away with a high tackle there personally.
Okay. There's a lot of chat about, obviously, tackles in rugby union at the moment. Rugby League must be laughing at the world of rugby union.
No, I know there's a lot of pressure going on with the governing body and brain health at the moment. I think you might see some rule changes next year.
Okay.
Especially in the community game, what we play now. This is Tier 4.
So along similar lines.
Yeah, I don't know the specifics of it, but there's a lot of attention getting it because we just need to make it safer.
Another good hit there from the Army.
Yeah, I mean, that was all down to the tackle. Ball flew out of RAF hands, and now Army have possession again, and they in their final quarter there.
It's quite an even contest at the moment. Defensively, it's okay. They're both sides doing well.
We've got a couple of comments on YouTube feeds saying how tough the ladies are, and yeah, I'm in full agreement. This is just as brutal as what you see in the men's game. But the Army have got space out wide, and that last ball did not go to hand. Oof, there's nearly another score there for ladies in red. But
no, I think you're right. I think the women's game as a whole is growing, and the effort and the tackles that they throw into each other. We've seen a couple here today. There was a few last week. they deserve a lot more respect than they get, because it's a very tough game, and I say it to Milo all the time every time they take the field. I'm just so proud of them and what they do. It doesn't go unnoticed, so it's a physical game, and I don't think that changes from whichever one you watch. You know what I mean? There's a lot of effort gone in.
It's not just effort, is it? It's courage to get out there. So, you know, our attributes as service people, very, very similar to the attributes of a rugby league player.
Body on the line.
Absolutely. Communication, trust, discipline, all those key skills.
So the weather being kind to us for this first half of Women's Inter-Services Rugby League here at Plateau Heath, Crusaders Rugby Club. We are within spitting distance of St Helens, totally wicked stadium, but great that this community club has been able to host.
Katie Seagrave, she's impressed me so far, actually.
Yeah?
She's got 9 on the back, but she's probably playing as a stand-off at the moment.
Okay.
Alice Fisher's been busy.
I think, is it Grace Horton?
Yes.
She's had a very busy first half as well. But she's done some tough carries.
I mean, it's easy to say that Grace's height probably gives her an advantage, but it takes a huge amount of strength from that height to, you know, cover the yards that she has carrying the ball.
Mason Moore there with a strong carry. Good.
So the Army again set themselves up as close as they can to the try line. Charlotte Hill, I mean, she's everywhere, isn't she? Popping up, Army fullback.
Should we revert to hooker while they're on the attack?
It looks like it.
Right. Got space out to the right.
Yeah, I think they're going to go in the corner now.
Lovely.
Oh, the ref.
He's given a forward pass there. The touch judges give a forward pass, so...
that corner's not working well for...
Yeah, it's about timing and timing the run and the pass and such like, because they had the overlap there. And that was pretty good football from the Army.
I mean, again, it's basics though, isn't it, if you do a forward pass? I mean, we all know how that works in both codes.
I mean, yeah, it's just a silly unforced. He should probably be beating himself up, to be honest, because it was a shoe-in. They were there, they were in the corner, kick to come, but just gives the RAF a little bit of time to recoup and then figure out what they want to do now moving forward.
And we've got half an hour played here in the second round of Inter-Services Rugby League. The Army women are yet to be beaten to an Inter-Services crown in Services Rugby League history. You know, teams have come close, but they will, if the score stays the same, or the Army women will win it this week, and then we look forward to Royal Air Force versus Royal Navy next week at Wakefield. Is that near you?
Not far, yeah. 15 mile.
Today that mile.
Matt, where's your rugby league pedigree? Where did that come from? I'm saying pedigree, I'm having never seen you play.
So I literally played a lot of amateur around here, so I played for Garswood. I've had a little dabble at that OEF as it happens.
Oh, okay.
But just local. I only took it up quite late, but the minute I did, I just knew it was there. You just can't get away from it. Once you play it and you experience it, I think even the new girls that I brought in, who played it once for me, come out of this game against the Army last week, every single one of them said they loved it, and it's a different game, but it's an adaptable game, and once you start playing it, you don't go back.
Did you play for the Navy?
I've had a few academy games, yeah, but started very late. I'm old now, aren't I? So I'm just looking at that chair behind you, wondering if I can have it for a minute.
Yeah. There's plenty more. We're sure we can find one for you.
Last time I played for the academy.
We want stories like that on Mike. Tell us what you said there.
So the last time I played was this year. I played for the academy and probably lasted about 20-25 minutes at prop, as Damo was saying before, and prematurely forced off with a broken arm. So,
oh, crikey.
And that was the end of that for me.
So 10 minutes out from half time here at Plateau Heath. The RAF yet to get a score on the board, but that is not a reflection of what's been an incredible defensive half for them. They just need to get that ball over the line, but they've certainly had enough possession.
I think the RAF played really well.
Yep.
I think they've met everything they've had thrown at them, and they just keep moving forward in high spirits, so it's good to see, and hopefully they can get something out of this and put something back on the Army. A great carry from Azifa Zalal there.
Yeah. Army support there.
All the spectators there beating down the drums.
There's no sort of commitment though from both sides, is there? You know, that carry was a great carry. They committed in defence as well. It's great to see.
The tackles seem to be getting
really
bigger.
testy game, yeah.
Yeah. Started off quite high, that tackle, but the Army then within touching distance, and again they've got space on the right. Charlotte Hill.
Oh, what's that?
Great tackle. Great tackle.
Chelsea Greasy making a very last ditch tackle there.
Oh, trying to power over, and that's a try for the Army.
Touch judge, don't give that.
Again. They're not going to love that touch judge, are they?
Held up.
So if when you're watching him and the touch judge goes into the field 10 yards back, he's signifying no try there.
Right.
So that's telling the referee no try. Yeah.
Bring the ball back.
So the referee then went and consulted with him to see what he'd seen.
Yep.
And then the decision made. So turnover there from here we thought it's a try.
Yeah.
Touch judge, great decision.
And would have that been foot in touch before putting down, or
No, she was held up.
she just held up and not over the line? Right. I need my binoculars, I think.
So line speed from Armour here. If they get off the line here, then it'll be tough for the Air Force to get out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Closing them down.
Another great run by Grace there.
Another score for the Army.
That's a great carry.
Yeah. Another score for, well, a score for either side before half-time will obviously get them into the dressing room happy. I don't know that the Army will be the happier going into the dressing room at half-time, to be honest.
Well, I mean, on the score sheet, 10-0 up, but I think the Royal Air Force will be more confident, take more confidence out of this first half. I think they've done really well. But notwithstanding that, the Army are a very strong team, and they will have come in expecting to walk over this Royal Air Force team, I'm sure.
Take there by Charlotte Hill. Just as I praise her.
That's a great result for the Royal Air Force there. Turnover possession, first tackle.
Yeah.
Let's go.
This is a very, very good opportunity for the RAF to get something now.
We just don't need that another injury. We need to maintain that momentum. Let the Army defend.
Could just be someone who's winded. That's Lynn Brooker-Brown. He's already been swapped on, but she's up. So, quick check. I think all is good. It just looks a bit winded, to be honest.
Scrum down, Royal Air Force, head and roll. Clock off.
So 10 points to the good from the Army here at Battle Heath. And we'll bring you some other sport from the Forces world during the half-time break. I'm going to give my co-commentators a bit of a break. And then they'll be back for the second half. And a reminder, of course, that we'll be live again tomorrow for the senior men's match. That is a 1 o'clock kickoff. So we'll be on air from 12:45 here on BFBS. Do join us then. Army RAF men. Another strong contest, another battling contest like this one?
No, absolutely. With the Royal Navy beating the Army last week, the Army have to turn up tomorrow and put on a good performance. But I went to watch the Royal Air Force senior men's team play the other week when they played in Halifax, and their good ball shape was very good. I was really impressed with how they were in good ball. So it'll be interesting tomorrow. But the Army have got it all to play for.
Quick play there from RAF women. And of course, I'm sure they'll be in force, just like the senior men are here to support them. I'm sure they'll be out in force tomorrow.
That's an excellent carry, that.
That Fitzpatrick's been very busy actually at night, defensively for the Army.
Yeah, Fitzy to her friends, and she played a really crucial role last week against the Royal Navy as well.
See, the referee needs to get a grip of that. There was not one Army player on side there.
Okay.
And they're all off again now.
Yeah, I mean, that's little things, but obviously it means meters for the RAF, doesn't it?
Good defence. That's really buzzed them up there. Getting around each other, that's good.
It's the one thing I noticed they did well against us last week. Once they get a sniff of that touch line, they just bring up the numbers, bunch around, and they just carry.
And that, interestingly, was what they couldn't do last year. That's what I remember the most. Is the game couldn't be expansive because it was just so turgid in the.
At Salford.
Yeah. It was a shame because you want to see a good game. It was a good game in many ways, but it didn't allow either team to play the rugby league that they want to play.
Yeah, it's certainly a leveler, isn't it?
Yeah. So the Army G'd up then by a defensive turnover. Zila Yule there powering through, and Emily White, the captain, ever reliable. Emily said she's never going to give up. They'll have to kick her out kicking and screaming of this Army team. She'll be around for a while yet. Bit of hubbub in the crowd. Can't see what it was, but must be nice to have your teammates from another team out there cheering.
Well, you'd like to think they're one team.
Well, that's true. Exactly. You wear the red or the blue. And of course, got the development game as well tomorrow. But just that final ball. It's the pressure they're putting on, isn't it? The Army have not been able to get that final ball away on quite a few occasions, with the RAF ladies sort of in their face.
I think the Army might be a little bit disappointed actually with the chances, especially this last 2 minutes. They've had probably 3 opportunities down in the Royal Air Force 20 to really push on, but skills let them down a bit.
But also, do you think that the defensive nature of the way the RAF are playing, out the corner of their eye, they're seeing the RAF, and that's what's making them make a mistake?
Yeah, definitely. They're getting in the face, they're getting off the line and putting pressure on them, which is forcing those errors. So, that's a consequence of the effort the Air Force are showing.
Yeah. Grace Winnett again. As we enter the final couple of minutes here before half-time at Tatto Heath. The Army women still up 10 points to 0. But the RAF have certainly prevented at least 3 tries from the way they're playing. And we'll be staying live here at Tatto Heath during the half-time break. Just giving ourselves a break, but also giving you a taste of forces sport from around the world, and of course away from Rugby League. And we've had the UK Armed Forces men out in France for the IDRC, the International Defence Rugby Competition. That was a few weeks ago. The Invictus Games have been going on. There's some inter-services karting happening this weekend, so hopefully any of you who are petrol heads, then you'll be interested in that.
And so this is a big set for the Army. This 2 minutes to go. In good ball.
I think it'd be a big set for the RAF as well. If they hold them out here, lead well going in at half time.
Yeah. Who doesn't want to score just before half time? Space again, out on the right. No. RAF picked it up.
And that's half time.
Okay, there we go. So
well done, both teams.
Excellent game.
10-0 then to the ladies in red, to the Army women. And they lead here at Atto Heath at half time. And yeah, just quick commentary. We've said it a lot before. You know, who will be the happier going into the dressing room, do you think?
I mean, I think for me, the scoreboard reflects everything. I won't say the Army will be the happiest, but they've got that cushion now. So I think all they'll just have a chat about now is just cutting out the unwanted errors, getting back to the way they play rugby, just keeping it safe, simple, completing. And the RAF will go in high spirits as well, because they've just, not only did they pin them in for a good period of the first half, but they've just battered them out for the last 10-15 minutes of that half as well. So I think it's an even contest, but unfortunately there's just been two wide tries and a conversion that have just settled them down a little bit.
Damo, you agree?
I think, to be honest, I think the Royal Air Force will take more confidence out of that, because, you know, going into that game with the reputation of the Army, they're playing in the Women's Super League South, you know, the Royal Air Force, to be honest, we haven't beaten the Army in the services, so from that, there's nothing to fear. I think they've done really well. Their intent has been good, the line speed is good, and like I said earlier, you know, the Army's just bombed maybe 2 or 3 chances there, but we've got to take, the Royal Air Force have got to take confidence out of that. And what I will say is, we talk about inter-service football and rugby league where it is right now in the armed forces. I've just seen Tony Sutton just cross in front of us here. Now Tony Sutton's just taken over as the CEO of the Rugby Football League, and that just, it enhances or demonstrates the relationship we as a sport in the Armed Forces Rugby League has with our governing body. You know, I've got the CEO who runs our game. There's Clint from York Knights here, the CEO from York Knights. So the standing we have in the game is significant, and long may that continue. And the participation, we see everybody here, what are rugby league people are wanting to watch rugby league. It just bodes well for the future.
Well, brilliant. Thank you, Damo. And thanks, Matt, as well for that first half. We'll see you in the second half. Just having a short break here now, but stay live with us on BFBS, on YouTube and on Forces News Facebook. We're just going to have a look now at what's happening in the Forces sport around the world this week.
Hi, I'm Richard Johnson and this is In Case You Missed It. A winning start. The Royal Navy senior men's football had success in their first game under new head coach, Lieutenant Commander Chris James. They're into the second round of the Hampshire Senior Cup after beating United Services Portsmouth FC. The Navy went through 4-3 on penalties at HMS Temeraire's Victory Stadium. Pain in the rain. The weather played its part as the UK Armed Forces men's football lost an important warm-up match. Heavy downpours made conditions difficult as they went down 1-0 to Portsmouth's academy side. The UCAF men will play this year's remembrance match against the German Bundeswehr on 5th of October, which you can watch live on the Forces News YouTube channel. A tough lesson. The Royal Navy Under-23's rugby union team suffered a heavy defeat as they begin their preparations for the inter-services. They were thrashed 49-5 by Bristol University. The Navy begin the defence of their inter-services title against the RAF in November. And heading for South Africa, Royal Air Force rugby star Sarah Bonner is in Scotland's squad for the Global Women's International 15s tournament. The new competition, also known as WXV, has been launched to help prepare for an expanded Rugby World Cup in 2025. Injury meant the flight lieutenant missed both the Six Nations and this year's Inter-Services Championships.
Oh, stepping back inside. Oh, Akisi Aravola not quite gone to ground. Army will look to make something happen this time. They've got numbers. Yeah, just need to get the ball a little bit wider. Referee looks happy. Touch.
Just waiting for his gesture now, waiting for him to point to the spot, and he's given it.
Oh, there you go. It's always that sense of jeopardy.
Yeah, it is. It's always that nervousness where you're waiting for the referee's hand to go to give that final decision.
Tackle after
I think
tackle.
we're on here. There we go, and that is Fitzy over the line for us.
Kira Fitzpatrick running in the Army's second try of the afternoon. Kat Williams barrelling forward, taking a couple of Navy players with her. Good platform. Oh, it's perfect handoff. Can she extend over the line? She can. Is that a try for the skipper, Emily White? Una Vakasegu on the march, taking players with her as the red wall gathers, or builds, I should say, behind her. Quick ball again.
Oh, it's fair caller there. She's coming off the interchange, and
well, that was a straightforward try, wasn't it? Well, she wasn't a million miles away before. Maybe she'll get a chance.
No, I'm
later
sure
in this fixture.
she'll come back. We'll see her kicking again in the second half.
Well, an immediate impact then as we go to half-time. 18-0.
But the Army are up. They're going to go for it.
Got numbers. Fitzy cuts back in. Well tackled, well held. Komatai just assessing the damage from her latest run upfield.
That's 6 again on the offside there, given by Dennis Knoll. So the Army have got the ball back off that 6 again.
They don't need them. They've gone over.
That's right.
Try number 5.
I think that was inevitable once they got that 6 again. It was nice passing, but it was too deep, and they've lost it. So they're on the 5th again. They're going to kick to the Army in their own 20.
Name on the ball.
Bit of luck there.
That tactic worked before, and it's worked again. And this time, the Army are running away with it. She's closed down, but has she got the wheels? Has she got the gas? Yaravoli running the length of the pitch. More gas than a barn full of bone binds on a lentil diet. She's run almost the length of the pitch to drop down
Fantastic sailor effort
under the pitch. No mistake this time.
There we go. No commentators jinx on that one, no curse.
28-0 to the women in red. Bibby making things happen. Ellie Rains, vice captain. This is more like it. Oh, tackled shy of the line.
Yeah, she
Superb
cut in when
defence.
she should have cut out there, I feel.
Oh, it didn't take long though. Ellie Rains crashes over for try number 7.
Such a good player, Ellie Rains. She's been so key in the Army success over the last few years.
Donnelly running all the way, straight up the midfield. Oh, good hands as well. Oh, out to the wing. Job's a good one.
And we are back for the second half of Inter-Services Rugby League here with the Army, who lead 10-0 at half-time. And I think that was perfectly timed. We got Charlotte Hill's kick-off there, and and we're
back straight under pressure again because they let it go out. So on the kick-off, it's obviously bounced. It's found touch. They've obviously not kept it in, and
so the Army ball again.
Straight back on the front foot now, which is probably not what they wanted or spoke about at half-time.
Just to reintroduce, we've got Damien Clayton with his RAF, but probably UCAF hat on, and Matt Bayliss, Royal Navy women's head coach. And like you say, I mean, the Army did this at the beginning of the first half. They put that pressure on right to begin with so they can get a score. And here we are again, beginning of the second half, and it's definitely Army, advantage Army. And 10-0 here to the ladies in red. A great run there by Kira Fitzpatrick. And she's got some wheels on when she turns it on.
She got that down, I can't quite see in the corner. Yeah, it's given.
Yeah, over here in the right corner. And that is Akisi Yaravoli. And another try for the Army, very similar to the beginning of the first half. Within the first 2 minutes, the Army have given themselves an early advantage. It's now 14-0 to the defending champions. And that would have been talked about, I'm sure, a lot in the dressing room at half-time.
Yeah, that's a great start.
Apologies, a few technical issues with Damien's mic there.
Yeah, she took that well, didn't she? Good score.
And again, using, you know, they seem to almost have an extra person on that wing every time. And no mistake there from the Army, and Lucy Hewitt stepping up to add the extra 2.
Oh, I think she just missed it then.
So 14-0 then to the Army. Matt, you were saying during half-time that you're sort of watching this game thinking if what you coached the Royal Navy to do, you feel like it's almost looking back on last week and seeing where you missed your chances.
Yeah, it's I just think both teams at the minute are just making it a little bit harder than it needs to be. It's just them unforced errors. It's just trying to push one more than it needs to go, and sometimes you could just do with, like I said before, settling in. If you've got space to go again after that, go again, and then just keeping it safe, completed, and then just pin them in where you can. So hopefully the RAF can just take a little bit of a lesson from that and push them back now and get something more out of it.
Great tackle. But quick ball, how important is that quick? I mean, you were saying, Damo, one of the tries was scored because they didn't hold them down on the ground long enough.
Yeah, there was a big tackle, but they let them play the ball too quick, which gives the impetus to the Army. They're on the front foot then, and the defensive line's retreating. That was better. Line set now.
Up to the speedster here on the right wing.
Great cover tackle from Chasey Grill.
As if you don't give a forward pass for that.
Has to be a forward pass.
Yeah, looking on the replay, that does look forward.
It's not even remotely backwards. Did he give it?
It looks... No, she's run in for the try.
I can't quite believe that, to be honest.
Ella Donnelly has run in for an Army try from what we thought was a pretty obvious forward pass. We can look at the replay in a second.
So this is a testing period for the Royal Air Force now. That's 2 quick tries early in the second half now. If they don't regain some composure, then it could be a long second half for them.
And this is exactly what the Army will have talked about, putting the ball back in their court and playing their game rather than playing the RAF. I mean, we can't see the pass there, but it's a difficult angle, I have to say, from where we're sitting, from the camera position.
Kathy being very diplomatic from where I stood. That was definitely.
I'm trying to be neutral, because I am neutral. I'm wearing blue. but I've got a red t-shirt on underneath. Yeah, so try given, and that is over from Lucy Hewitt. Yeah. So the Army are.
Yeah, I think the Royal Air Force trainer there is questioning the rationale of the referee and the touches there, I think.
Here we go,
Probably
here we've got
rightly
it
so.
again.
It's a mile forward, I don't get it.
Yeah, it goes forward, it bounces, but it was already forward. That'll be one that will be discussed, I'm sure, for a while.
I think on the RAF point of view, it's just something, it's a hard thing to recover from, especially when it's so visible. They're under the cosh now for something that is completely out of their control, really. So,
but it has doubled the Army's lead from half-time. It is now 20-0 to the ladies in red as the RAF kick off again, and that's not a great pick-up there from the defending champions. Well, we all know that refereeing decisions are always contested, whether they're right or wrong, and it is the nature of the game.
Yeah, I think he's been pretty fair, the referee, to date, though. He's just got that one wrong.
I'm laughing because people have finally given us some space in front of our commentary position here. Like I said, we're lucky enough to be inside to watch this in-services clash. Defending champions, the British Army against the Royal Air Force. And at the moment, it is all going the Army's way in this second half, which wasn't the case in the first half.
yeah, forward.
But Fitzpatrick again, picking up and running with the ball. Into the arms of Hill. Followed up her own kick.
Support play needs to be better there.
Yeah, there's not a lot of quick ball happening there, is there?
It's just very static. He's just sent Chelsea in there on her own and she's looking for the pass, but no one's coming with her.
The window to the world we got here. So the RF ladies 20 points down, and they really did look like they were in a position to get a score on the board, but the Army have come out fighting. A lot of support for the RAF on the YouTube channel. I think we mostly get family, which I think is great. If they can't see it in real time, it's great that we can bring it to you live. So thank you for your support in watching and your support for the awesome women out here. Good defence from the Army there. Yeah. Well, that didn't go forward, so I'm just saying, you know, it wasn't a good pickup, but she didn't knock it forward. So sometimes I just talk the game to myself. And yeah, the Army throwing everything at this RAF attack, but they've made some good yards there.
Yes, that ball's gone dead now, so the Army's got a seven tackle set.
I think I am cursing it. I said it was made some good yardage, and then they put the ball out. You don't want to let Charlotte Hill have metres to run.
That is a very fortunate error. I think everyone fell asleep a little bit at the line then from that 20-metre restart, and they just allowed her a lot more space than she deserved, really.
You know, this fixture was originally supposed to be played at the Totally Wicked Stadium. Do you think that in the build-up, the sort of change of venue had any effect on these players? Or, I mean, I was saying to the coaches before they started, really, a pitch is a pitch. You know, a game is a game. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, definitely. I think they've got enough. I mean, they were told today, but there's plenty of notice in there. It would have been nice for them to play as a curtain raiser to the, you know, a Super League game, but at the end of the day, this isn't service football.
Yeah, in a way, we've got a bit more of an intimate atmosphere here, and it's obviously very military. We've got a lot of the senior men's team out here supporting, plus Masters, who played, you know, with Damo this morning, and the academy side as well, who'll play tomorrow. So yeah, good military atmosphere, and it's great. It's a great club.
Oh, it's one of the better community clubs. Is Tatoif. It's great setup, lots of investment. But you know, Rugby League, this is where it's played around here.
Yeah, I know. Well, we were saying last week must have been one of the most southern Rugby League fixtures possible down in Portsmouth. You couldn't get more southern, could you?
No, I think the Portsmouth Seahawks what played on there as well. It's driven by Royal Navy Rugby League.
Well, that took 3 players to get her off. That was a lot of determination there.
Yeah, it's called held there, but that,
okay.
You know, the intent there from the Army is really impressive. The fifth and last. See what this kick's like.
So Hannah McCabe then, with that responsibility, and she was the one that was holding the ball up as well.
Again, good line speed, good defence there. They're turning the ball over now. Let's see what the FO's got defensively.
Do you think that's fatigue sort of setting in, that those sort of defensive...
I think there's a little bit of indecision.
Right.
I think it's just got to be quicker. They've just got to command where they want it and tell the people to get through when they need them. But I don't think you can take anything away from the Army there. That line speed was fantastic and just shut everything down that they had set up.
So the sun's peeking through the clouds here, but it's pretty dark out there. Don't know if that's going to have... Unless we're behind tinted windows, it does look quite dark out there. Some thick clouds, but...
I'm sure with the price of energy nowadays, Tato, they'll be waiting till the last available minute to put the lights on.
Yeah, they're going to leave them out there, I think. I'm just glad it hasn't rained. Communication as well seems to be better this half from the Army, and that's crucial out there, isn't it?
Yeah, she's been busy. Charlotte Hill, I thought she had a good game actually.
Yeah.
No, that's a great tackle.
Difference of opinions there, but we knew.
Yeah. So the Army women made some meters there, but completed their set, and it's now...
Oh, this is good at the minute. It's going for set for set, isn't it?
Yep. End-to-end stuff.
That's what you want, innit? You want to just keep crashing and just seeing which one's going to make the first mistake, but...
Do you prefer watching games that are kind of played a lot in the middle here? Obviously completion is your key word, Damo, but do you want to see free-flowing tries, or do you want to see more of the sort of brutality in the middle, the physicality?
No, I think there's two areas of the game, isn't there? Like the All Air Force now in Rugby League terms are coming out of yardage, so it's about getting to a good place to kick, to force the Army to start their set from in their own half.
Yeah.
So defensively, the Army are getting off the line and wanting to restrict them as far as they can. So when they get into good ball, into the good area of pitch. I like to see some expansive rugby.
Yeah.
But coming at you, it's all about discipline and a structure, really.
It's where you want to be playing, isn't it? You never want to come off your own try line to try and defend all the time. So that completion, whether it goes through the middle or left or right channel, as long as it puts you in a good position to find territory with a kick, it's just where you want to be playing the football, really.
Still some big hits going in.
Yeah, that's a good carry from Ella Donnelly there. And he's wiped the tackle count clean as well, so it's another set of 6 for the Army. They're certainly not shy in throwing the ball about in good ball, so it's good on them.
She's over there again now, I think.
Yeah, I mean, they're not the greatest of passes, but they are definitely moving, shifting that ball around. And that is, that's Fitzy again, isn't it? Kira Fitzpatrick in for another try for the Army.
Yeah, I think you just seen the gap from dummy half and just jumped. It was a good try, well worked.
They're really pleased with, I mean, these 3 tries they've scored very quickly in the second half. They obviously had a game plan coming out of the changing room, I think, and it feels like they've followed through on that. So good carry there by Ellie Rains, and then it's really quick ball out to Fitzy, and she's off. Give her a couple of metres and she'll score for you. And now we've got the sun filling our face, so this commentary gig gets better and better. So the Army are 24 in that way. That conversion kick hit the post, so it's just 24-0 to the defending champions, the Army, and at this point, looking like this could be another inter-services win for ladies in red. RAF went for a really quick kick-off then, and they've been called back. I don't know if, I'm not kidding, we have got the sunshine full in our eyes. It looks like we're playing via moonlight. I'm just watching on the camera now, but I think it's going to dip behind a cloud, so I'm also available for weather reports should the commentary gig not work out.
Tough one now. I think the RAF just need to get a bit of a hold on this game now, just to prevent a little bit more damage. But
yeah, I'm not too sure that was a wise decision to do a short kick-off.
And she wasn't penalised, she was just asked to come back for it, was she? Or?
I think they went short again from the second one.
Oh, it did. Okay, sorry. I was being blinded by the sun. So, safe to say, I think the Army are in control of this second half. They lead 24-0 and have had the majority of possession since coming out for the second 40. And a reminder that this is the second week of inter-services action. The Army women played the Royal Navy women last week, and it was a 36-0 win for them there down in Portsmouth, and they're now 24-0 up against the Royal Air Force here. And we're still in St Helens, but not at the main stadium. We're in Thatto Heath, home of the Crusaders.
Really strong carry from Ella Donnelly there. Crashed straight through and then finally brought down about 5 before the post.
Oh yeah, she carried 3 defenders, I think. No, 5 by the end of it.
Charlotte Hill now over in the corner.
Yeah,
good football that.
Trying to get a bit free flowing now, aren't they? Is that good ball area you were talking about, Damo?
I mean, that was good football, wasn't it?
Confidence is going up one way and down the other, isn't it?
Kev Brown in there with the celebrations. Former Army player, of course.
Andrew Caff.
Andrew Caff, yes. Legend of the game.
I say former, he definitely played last week.
Oh, I'm sorry. There we go. He's obviously coaching on some level, isn't he? So, another try from the Army makes it 28-0 here. Charlotte Hill, she deserved that. She's had a good game. And I think the RAF are having a little conflab down there behind the try line.
Conversion missed.
So it remains 28-0 to the Army with a missed conversion. Didn't quite have the distance. But I don't think that's going to bother the Army as they are now very far ahead. And yeah, they seem to have found that zone. So a reminder, of course, that we've got the senior men playing tomorrow. That kicks off at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So we will be live here on Forces News Facebook and YouTube as the rain starts to come down for the last quarter of this match, last 20 minutes, and they will be playing it in rain. And yeah, makes a difference. So senior men will kick off tomorrow at 1 o'clock.
More like it now, the RAF getting some decent possession here. Knock on straight from the kick-off.
Yeah, they've got a good opportunity now.
Is it too early to say this could be a consolation score, or it's quite a big score to come back from, isn't it? 28 down.
It's just taking something from the game.
Right.
Even if they're not going to get the points that are going to amass the same as the Armies, they just need to come away with the positives that put them forward in the right way. Whether it's 4, 8, 12 points that they get, they just need to work now to get something from this game so that they can just implement something further to come on from it.
Scrum down then for the Royal Air Force. And they'll need numbers out there. They've made meters. I mean, the strength of some of these girls. She walks good 4 meters there with 4 defenders attached. Incredible. Oh, it's a wonderful run through. Went down the last minute. And they've got space out here on the left.
Go on.
Grace Han Burnett there, but she's been... And the Army are not giving up.
Scrambling.
This is good stuff from the RAF though. Every single player trying to push that try line.
Oh, what's happened here?
Well off. That's a great tackle. 5th and last handover.
Okay. So the RAF are have just fallen short there. They really good play, and the Army, well, they completed the set, but the Army are now back in. But
Yeah,
they're quite far back. Yeah.
There's a great opportunity here to signal their intent defensively, get some line speed, and put a bit of pressure on the Army. Force an error. Emily White just having a word with her Army teammates
as we assess an injury here to the light blues. Lisa Fisselau.
She's had a really good game, very strong, willing runner, just offers herself up for everything. And some of the, I think a few of them in the middle there have just gone unnoticed a little bit today, just for their work rate and their effort, but she's really stood out for me today, Lisa Fisselau.
Yeah, it's interesting. Alice Fisher plays in the middle at Bradford, but today she's like slotted in as one of the halves, distributing the ball. I'd like to see her really carry strong and get forward instead of concentrating on passing the ball. Like I said, Lisa Fisselau, she's done well.
You know, I know that a lot of, especially it happens in rugby union as well. It happens in rugby league. How good is that opportunity for these girls to be playing at civvy clubs and getting that experience? Vital, I imagine.
Oh, it's massive, and I think the Army women's team playing in the Southern Super League is a fantastic platform for them to kick on, and women's rugby league has gained significant strides over the last 3 or 4 years, and absolutely the Forces women have got a fantastic opportunity to get really representative honours above and beyond UCAF and Army or single services type stuff. Such is the impetus the women's game has got at the moment.
And obviously
the pathway's there.
Yeah, because you know we've seen Carrie Roberts, who's went into retirement, has come out of retirement, but you know representing for England at the Rugby League World Cup last year. So they know that pathway exists for any of them, and it's one of the beauties of being in the military is those pathways are sort of well entrenched and the relationships are already there with clubs and national governing bodies as well.
Absolutely.
So the Army then...
See, any sports organisation, governing body, you know, they want to exploit people playing at a better level, and you know, you've got generally the fitness of service people.
Yeah.
It's something they need to exploit, and so it's the key for it.
And the ability of those services to give them time off if they need it, which, you know, the military have always been pretty good at.
Most definitely.
Matt Bayliss may argue that the Royal Navy have less time to give, but...
I think for me it just comes down to the manning issues. We've had our fair share of troubles trying to get people released, but it's now the ordinary. We're operational, we're deploying. Some things come first, and I'd like to see more people get released, but we just have to operate within our boundaries, and we achieve what we can achieve. So we're just thankful for the people that we do get, and we hope we can do a job with the ones that we do get.
But would you say you're getting, I think you were saying before we went on air that the Royal Navy players you're getting now have already played rugby league, you know, it's not necessarily a new thing to them.
It changes different from camp to camp. We're slowly starting to build a little bit of a foundation. I think still last week when I fielded a team against the Army, there was 4 debutants to rugby league.
Right.
Some of them only trained 4 times prior to that game, so it's a big step, but like I say, that is strong. The girls that do it, they enjoy it, and hopefully they're going to keep coming back, and we can just keep building and just form something great, and hopefully they can get something out of it coming in the near future.
The Army then well ahead here at Tatto Heath. They are 28-0 to the good against the Royal Air Force. Certainly doesn't reflect the first half of play, but the Army women have come out strong here in the second half and scored quickly. And we've just got 15 minutes remaining here, which is probably just as well because we are losing light as we speak.
Oh, great ball steal there.
It was a strong carry as well, wasn't it?
Yeah. Who did that, was it?
I think that was Alice Fisher, wasn't it?
I don't think it was. I think.
Okay. So the RAF with another opportunity, and they will want desperately to get some points on the board to reflect what was a brilliant first half, and it's been a battling second half from them.
Great footwork from Chelsea Greasley there.
Just running out of space here on the left wing. Another carry by Grace. Houghton Burnett.
Just a bit too lateral, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, quickly off them, but palmed off.
Oh, she's done well there.
Yeah.
It's a great return.
That's brave as well from the try line to run it up. We've got a follower on YouTube, Grim Reaper. Doesn't sound too promising, but looks like Army wins this one. But I will say RAF did play well, a good game, and they fought hard and can be proud. And we are in agreement in this commentary box. We've got Ancient, someone watching from Pittsburgh in Pennsylvania, USA.
Fantastic.
It's brilliant. People you come on here. Tom Phillips says, go on, Skip. Emily White, go Army. And there's a mixed support here on YouTube. We are, of course, live on the Forces News Facebook as well. And Grace's mum also watching. And Damo and Matt can see a lot more of the game than I can at the moment.
I think the RAF have just knocked on, just given the opportunity back to the Army there in a very good position. So a big defensive set needed now.
And it's soul destroying, isn't it? They've just defended for a set and then knock on the first tackle. It's just soul destroying.
It's not really forgivable either, unfortunately. That's a basic mistake like that. And they do, both sides looking pretty tired. Hands on hip stance.
It's been a hard-fought game. Again, just similar to last week. I don't think the scoreline reflects. I think they've met in the middle well. They've covered the out-wide tracks. Again, just the RAF deserving more. Army probably could have had a little bit more as well, but it's just how it goes. I mean, how they respond now is probably going to be detrimental because it could end up worse. But like I say, I keep urging them on. Hopefully the RAF can get back up the pitch now and just get something.
Yep. Charlotte Hill just receiving a little bit of treatment there on the pitch. One of the handful of Army players that have will probably do the full 80. The clock's off at the moment, but we have just over 10 minutes remaining. And following this match, there will be presentations. So do stay with us, and we'll try and speak to the winning captain as well.
And that left edge for the Army's gone well, I think.
Yeah.
Really good line speed there. That's a really good effort from the RAF in defence there.
Yeah, you can't fault the commitment, can you?
That's what you want to see as well. Side by side, running together, tackling together. Just it's all about just pushing now and just working for each other.
Pick up.
Wow. Yeah, at this stage in the game as well, when they could be forgiven for having heads down, and they're still battling.
Yeah, another tram on the sticks there.
I think that one belonged to
commentating
Emily
blind.
White.
Yeah, there's Emily. Captain's match. She battled through 4 defence there. She loses the ball there at the end.
Yeah, referee's on top there. So this will all be about the attitude now. The last 10 minutes, I think, for the Royal Air Force. Army clearly are going to win the game, but let's see if we can keep on playing for 80.
So Emily White, the captain there from the Army, with another score. So it's 32-0. And yeah, Again, we're watching the replay. It could be that she touched down and then lost the ball. Again, it's decision on the pitch was.
Kick's been converted as well.
Yeah, so 34-0 to the Army. Lucy Hewitt there again with a successful one from the boot. But we can't the decision's been made. It's 34-0 to ladies in red, and this could be a tough remaining 7 minutes for the Royal Air Force.
I think a couple of them are just receiving treatment down the bottom end.
Breaking news, listeners. Damo's finally sat down. You lasted 70 minutes. I will give you credit for that. We all need a chair now. That's about as exciting as it gets in this commentary booth. 34-0 then to the Army.
Come on, let's have a strong 7 minutes here now, both teams.
Yeah, similar. It's not a knock-on if it comes from the boot. Very powerful run there from the Army.
Excellent return there, yeah. Matched by excellent defence, to be honest. Definitely forward. We called that one.
That one's called.
Oh, my word is giving it.
That's the player in you coming out. Yeah, so the RAF then giving themselves another opportunity in the Army's half.
Yeah, scrum down now. What can we do?
So it's come down here at Tato Heath. We're in the final 5-6 minutes of this game, the second round of Inter-Services Rugby League. Great tackle there by the Army. RAF need quick ball. And they are being shut down.
Good strong marker play. She's done well.
And they've been.
I think he's brought it back. Incorrect play the ball.
So the RAF, another basic mistake. Hands possession back to the Army. And you can blame that on fatigue maybe, but blame it on the light or just themselves.
Just themselves.
Just themselves.
Somebody needs to put 50 pence in that meter though. It's getting dark.
It's getting dark. I don't think it's me, and I don't have my sunglasses on. It's definitely dark out there. A bit of a lot of cloud cover.
Might be the tinted windows, we don't know.
Charlotte Hill then, fantastic run through the middle. No one's bringing her down. Finally they do. She's made some meters there.
He's given a penalty to win the tackle, strip ball. And he's blown up.
Oh, okay, so not on our clock, but the timings are that the Army women here have won 34-0. Maybe our clocks were slightly skewed, but I thought we had more minutes remaining. But massive celebrations from the ladies in red, because that is another Inter-Services win for them. They remain undefeated in this tournament, and disappointing for the RAF because they had a fantastic first half. They were very strong defensively, but yet again the Army showed their strength in depth. They adapted and they came out in the second half and really showed what they had. So that's an in-services win and a win against the RAF here, 34 points to 0. Two neutral commentators with me, Damien Clayton and Matt Bayliss. Let's just get your final thoughts. We've spoken a lot about our thoughts throughout the game.
They've got the trophy and stuff ready. Are we doing the interview first, or are they doing the...
But there's foundations there. There's something to be worked on, and hopefully, given time, another year maybe, we'll just start getting it more competitive and trying to work towards the end goal, and we'll just give everyone a better show. But credit where credit's due. The Army, I said it from last week, they're well organised, they're well drilled, they get a lot of time together in the Women's Super League. I don't think that can be overlooked, but they've done a lot of good work. They've got a lot of good players. We just got to try and match it now. It's on us to go away, work, regroup, and see what we come back with.
Do you feel like you're sort of, in being Royal Navy, you're in with the RAF both together, trying to sort of not necessarily get up to the Army level, because I don't think they're out of reach, but competing against that sort of year in, year out?
I mean, like you said, I don't think they're out of reach. I think the be all and end all, like I just said, is they're organised, but I don't think it's a group collective. I think if you ask anyone that wears a shirt that the service they represent, we want to come down here, we want to beat the Army, we want to come down here, we want to beat the RAF. Wherever we go, we're always going to want that end goal, and that's the IS Championship. So we've got to go away and collectively work on it. Could we learn from the games as a whole? We're probably going to watch this back so we can learn from it, and it's one of them. There's a lot of work to be done, but I don't think it's far away. I think it's just a case of we've just got to match it, and I do think it'll come. I think next year you'll see a different services, and hopefully that comes to light, because I'll stand there all day and I'll say I'll back my team, and I do, and I tell them every day. So we'll come back next year, we'll get the RAF over with next week, and hopefully that'll be a good game. I'm really looking forward to that, because I think both teams are going to have a good crack at it, and it'll be up in Wakey, and we'll just focus on that now, give everyone a good game to watch, and then we'll go from there.
Damien, your thoughts?
Excuse me. I think what we fail to remember is that as UCAF now, I see all the participation numbers of how many's played in the service from Royal Navy, Army, and the Royal Air Force, and it's 4-1 for the British Army. They've got 4 times as many people playing the sport as what the other two services have. So we can't forget that, and I've got to take credit to that. So from Army Rugby League as a committee, driving the participation numbers, getting the interest there, and let's be honest, in the women's game, for them to compete in the Super League Southern, they're signalling the intent of what they want to achieve, and it's so difficult for the Royal Navy and the Air Force to compete at this level. And I think the Royal Air Force did that in the first half. Should have taken some pride and confidence out of that. But guess what? Start of the second half, the Army signalled their intent again, and there was 2 quick scores, and then when you're a player, when you're back at that, it's now 20-odd, it just like breaks you back. And I thought there were 2 key players for me. I thought that the fullback for the Army had a fantastic game, and also the centre, Una Vakasigu, and Adi Masamoa, number 14, down that left edge. They did some real damage, and they were really strong. And you can't take that away from them. It isn't just about the numbers, a numbers game, but they've got a great setup, and it's down to the other 2 services now to regroup. For Matt to be coaching his girls, but generate more interest in the game at that level.
Okay, so we're just going to go live.
I think she's just got the man on the match, hasn't she?
We're just going to go live to the presentations down there for man of the match. I think it's Women of Steel it's called, and of course eventually the in-services crown. So that's Charlotte Hill with Women of Steel, I think they're calling it, rather than man of the match.
Player of the match, actually, yeah.
Player of the match,
yeah.
And we'll just go live now to the presentations. Damo and Matt will stay with me there for the final words, but we'll see if we can pick up live down there.
To award the trophy to the Army.
So there, the Army celebrating another inter-services win. We will try and talk to the captain, Emily White, who is a real stalwart of this team. A word about Emily White. I know you've both seen her play for years, and she's a strong member of the UCAF team as well. But yeah, we're just seeing a lot of celebrations there. We both said, they're not out of reach, the Army. Is there anything being done to sort of support in Women's Inter-Services Rugby League? You said it's on the rise, but is there anything being done to support in terms of coaching, the likes of Matt and the support that you get, Matt? Is it more time that you need? Is it more games that you need?
I think game time's invaluable sometimes. I think the deconfliction between obviously both codes, so when you get the rugby union, you get the league. 90% of my team play rugby union, so we have to wait out and sort of like transfer into a league camp after that and ensure we can do it in a correct amount of times, or make sure that we've all got everyone fit and available. I think we could benefit with trying to look at, in the future, I think it was part of my 5-year plan, just to try and get us integrated into that Women's Super League South. I think the more we start playing and the more game time we get, we'll just start growing. Like I said, we've got a foundation now, we just need to find somewhere to build with it and just hopefully get a bit more momentum moving in.
Damo, you agree? You think there's enough support coming in? And
yeah, I think so. I think there's also an opportunity to generate more interest at single service level. The different variations of the game. It doesn't have to be the 13-a-side contact like it is, but to play touch and tag and things like that. There are different variations which generate the interest, get them playing rugby league football, and then they might be able to step up into the full contact game. But it's about numbers effectively, and we need to get more people playing. We've done well. I mean, this game 5 years ago, that would probably be 70-odd nil to the British Army. So you can see with the gaps closing. The gap is closing.
Thank you so much to Damien Clayton and to Matt Bayliss. You've been an absolute star on this game. We're now going to throw to Emily White, the captain of Army Rugby League, and she's talking to Kira Shell.
So we're here with the Army captain, Emily White. Congrats, Emily, what a fantastic match.
Thank you very much. It's been an absolutely brilliant day today. We've had, I think, nearly every weather happen during the fixture, so adjusted our play throughout. I'm so proud of the girls. They also make me very crazy, trying to do some really breakaway, crazy stuff. But sometimes it comes off, sometimes it doesn't. But every time we stuck to our set plays, we got over that whitewash, and I'm really proud as the captain today.
Yeah, that first half is incredibly exciting with those breakaway moments, as you mentioned. Is that something you guys have worked on in training, or is that just the vision from your players?
So I think a few of the tries are like sets and how we like to play rugby, but some of the other stuff, Ellie Rains, my vice captain, she can spot the gaps, and she plays heads up rugby, and I take my hat off to her. She's amazing, so she put people through those gaps.
So we spoke to your coach before the match, and he talked a little bit about how you guys are missing some players this match. So how did you guys adapt to overcome that today?
Yeah, so actually we had Fix come in and play 9, and she never played that position before. So to play that in a services fixture and even get herself over for a try, and she had another opportunity to score as well. She's done us really, really proud today. And the fact that I've seen her defend in the middle, having only ever seen her play wing before, I'm really impressed with her performance.
And finally, what's kind of next to you guys? What will you be working on in training next?
Well, it's our off season now. This is the last thing that we do. We've got a really strict physical training programme that we've got to follow for next year, something that we tried to put in this year but it didn't go too well, so we're going to focus on that, and then our pre-season trial will be in March, so if anybody does want to come and try Rugby League and be part of the Army women's team or the Army development team, they should turn up to that.
Well, thank you so much for talking to us today, and congratulations.
Thank you very much. You're going to be back in my team.
Emily White there, captain of the victorious and inter-services champions of 2023, the Army, British Army women. She's a stalwart for her side, and great to hear from her after another win for the Army women. We're wrapping up our commentary here and our live, but please do join us again tomorrow. The senior men are live at 1 o'clock at kick-off time. We will be live here on Forces News Facebook and Forces News YouTube from 12:45. I'm Kath Brazier signing off here at Tatto Heath Crusaders Rugby Club. We're just down the road from St Helens, and thank you all for joining us. Please do come back again. We've still got another round of Inter-Services Rugby League next week in Wakefield, but it's all about St Helens tomorrow, and again, Army against RAF.